before we talk about anything else, I'm already getting text messages from people that Micron has killed it.
Oh, they
So
reported?
we have to check out Micron. Do you want to share your
Let's
screen
do
or?
it. Sure. Breaking
Okay.
news. Uh,
So
actually, let me go
look at those
to,
numbers. Holy macro.
okay, here we go.
Okay, Micron, 23 billion, 23.8 billion. Estimate was 19.1 after it had been bumped up because the original estimates after last quarter were in the 18s. They came in at 23 billion. They beat their $19 billion estimate by an additional 4.7 billion, 24% beat. And then the EPS of $12.20. Wow.
Two
Wow.
very, very, very large beats. And the
41% beat on EPS. That just blows me away.
then the
This stock
stock
is
price
up
hasn't
only
moved.
1%. What
Yeah,
is
it hasn't
up
moved
with
that much.
that?
So we'll see if that
This
changes.
this is a case of the stock price absolutely not matching what is happening in reality.
And
So
actually, the stock price is now down after hours.
I
It just
mean, in
dropped.
a way, I kind of like that. I don't know. This is how crazy is that? Unless there was some additional details that we're missing here. But
Right.
go to like look at those revenue numbers. That last revenue bar is the 23.8. The previous revenue was 13.6. So from 13 to 23, they added over $10 billion of revenue quarter over quarter. What is that? Like 10 divided by 13. That's a 77% increase in revenue quarter over quarter. And last quarter was a record revenue quarter for them.
Here, and this
That
is
is
this is
that is
a
unbelievable. Look at that. Look at that chart.
and this kind of goes back to what you were saying a while ago of like, there were these revenue boom cycles. This
Right.
cycle, if this is a cycle, it's unlike any of their others.
Wow. I've never seen anything like that. Even NVIDIA did not kill it in that way, um, quarter over quarter. I'm just, I'm
Yeah,
beyond words right now.
right
That
now
is an
we're looking at
incredible number.
Q1 2012 to Q2 2026.
Yeah, anybody
So
who's selling their stock right now in Micron, what were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking or expecting that they would sell after they see those numbers? This is what I don't understand. Like, this is why the market is such a weird place. If you're buying a company and this company just destroys their revenue guidance, which were already incredibly high and, and unprecedented, in terms of growth. I think NVIDIA may be the only company that has ever grown at that size, at that scale, the percentage wise at that scale. Um, yeah, I can't think of another publicly traded company that is multi-billion-dollar quarterly revenue that has grown that fast. That is
yeah,
incredible, incredible growth. Wow. I can't wait for their call. So that should be a very interesting call.
yeah, and we'll keep an eye and see if they release their slide deck, and we'll
We'll
talk
come
about
back to
that
it.
if we get it. We now have the slide deck,
All right, let's do it.
so let's go over it.
All right, what did they do? So do you want to hit the highlights or should we just skim through them? What do you
Up
think
to
is the
you.
best way to do this?
You're the shareholder here, so whatever you want to hit
Our
on.
fiscal Q3 single quarter revenue guidance exceeds the full year revenue for every year in our company's history through fiscal 2024. That is unbelievable.
Oh, I think I was just logged out of Earnings Hub. That's
Oh,
crazy.
but we're probably getting that's interesting.
Yeah, I'll contact support about it.
Who does that email go to?
I don't know, some crazy guy, I think. Okay, we're back.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the next slide. Let's see what else.
You want me
Hopefully
to
they
skip
have
the
some
overview?
charts and graphs. Yeah.
Technology, data center server demand.
A lot of text. Okay, so we're just like skimming through the slide deck that they have provided. Okay, here we go. Fiscal year 2026 revenue 23.9 billion, revenue up 75% quarter over quarter, up 196% year over year. Those numbers, like 196% year over year for a almost $4 billion revenue company, just mind blowing. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Performance by technology. So they have their DRAM division, which did 18.8 billion, representing 79% of total revenue in fiscal quarter 2026. The NAND technology, 5 billion, representing 21% of total revenue in second fiscal quarter of 2026, up 169% year over year. Both unbelievable numbers. So just to put things in perspective, NAND is the solid state drive technology that goes into both like MacBooks and servers as well, instead of the spinning drives that like Seagate and Western Digital traditionally used to make. So that's the NAND flash technology. Let's go to the next slide.
And are both of these technologies is there supposed to be a shortage for, or just the?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
ton of shortage for NAND as well, and that's the reason SanDisk has been skyrocketing, because SanDisk makes also the NAND technology as well. In fact, one of the co-founders of SanDisk is the current Micron CEO. So his background is all that NAND technology stuff, which is a $5 billion business for them right now. All right, so we're looking at the quarterly business unit financial results, cloud memory. That's interesting. Core data center, mobile and clients, automotive and embedded. Okay, so this is all probably the DRAM business. 7.7 billion cloud memory. I assume that cloud memory, they're referring to data center core. Or wait, what could possibly cloud
I don't
memory
know.
refer to?
Not sure what the difference is, unless if it's more like AWS, like hosted
Like
services as
traditional
opposed.
versus,
Yeah.
but core data center, they've separated out. But anyway, let's go to the next slide. See if they project what they're expecting for next quarter. Non-GAAP operating results. Cash flow. Hold on this slide. Let's stay on the cash flow slide. 1.4 billion toward repurchasing 14 million shares. 1.8 billion towards dividends paid. This has already happened in the last quarter. 3.2 billion returned to shareholders from share repurchases and dividends. Okay. Cash
And they
flow
have like
from operation.
they have a crazy annual dividend, right?
I don't think they've had a significant dividend historically. I think
Oh,
that
okay.
might be something that they have recently started. But cash flow from operations, 11.9 billion, almost 12 billion. Net capex, 5 billion. Adjusted free cash flow, 6.9 billion. Buybacks in the quarter was 350 million. Dividends paid out of 15 cents per share on April 15th. Okay. Liquidity, they have, what was that last 20 billion
20.2 billion.
in liquidity at the end of the quarter. So extremely strong cash position. What else we have? The guidance.
Here's the
Oh my
guidance.
God. 33 billion. I thought they were going to be flat this year. How
Yeah.
is next quarter
Plus or
going to be
minus
33
roughly a
billion?
billion.
How is this even possible? This is blowing my mind right now. And they're guiding to diluted earnings per share of $19 per share in
Yeah,
one quarter.
give or take 40 cents.
Dustin, have you seen anything like this before? Like
No, I think to your point, it's just very similar to NVIDIA's like crazy billion-dollar
it-
growth.
when they were asked on their call last quarter, I remember specifically them saying that they don't expect to have significant growth in revenue for the remainder of the year after this last quarter that they just reported, this $19 billion with the $19 billion
Which was
expectation.
Q2 2026.
Right. So they have beat that by coming in at 20, what was it, 22 or 23 billion. Um, and then I was thinking the rest of the year they're going to have this $23 billion bar, but they're now projecting next quarter to be 33 billion,
Yeah.
which is 50% higher than this quarter. Again, quarter over quarter growth of 50%.
Well, this is what
If you
more
tell
companies should be
if you
doing.
showed me these numbers and asked me guess what the stock will do over the course of the next week, I would say it'll be up 50%.
Yeah, and we'll
I,
check back into the stock price after we're done with the slides. But this is what more companies should be doing, where they should be under promising and over delivering. And we'll see if they beat next quarter with this guidance. But
wow.
this is at least with some of my stocks, maybe not yours. This has been an issue with like
I
EOS, where
iron
and
too, right?
yeah, where there you have these companies that don't set the right expectations in the wrong
But
way.
they the expectation they set was so high that I thought they were going to fall short of it with the $19 billion revenue estimate and $8.60 EPS, but they just blew that out of the water.
Yeah.
They set the expectation high and still blew it out of the water. Uh, yeah, that is beyond belief for me. That's unbelievable.
Okay. It actually looks like we're at the end of this deck anyway. After hours, they're up again, but just 1%. So
Hmm.
$466
Is it
a share.
possible that we're not getting the correct numbers there? Like,
Is
do
it
you want to just check?
possible? Yes. Is it
Let's
unlikely?
do it. Let's just do a sanity check with Google or somebody. Yeah, no.
Google has it down 0.5%
Okay.
after
So
hours.
yeah, no, we got the right numbers. That's
Yeah.
so interesting to me.
Yep.
Um, I might buy more tomorrow if the stock continues to be down. I mean, this is kind of
And the stock is hitting all-time highs, right?
yeah, it's hovering around all-time highs. But those
Well,
numbers
no,
are just unreal.
yeah, but like the last 2 days, it's made new all-time highs, I believe.
That's
Because it's been,
possible, but it's like hovering around the same, it hit
yeah,
like 450 a share just even a few weeks ago.
yeah, but like year to date, which I know is roughly when you started buying, like started shooting up from around $300 to around $450, and then was a
Right.
bit stagnant, but has broken out since. And again, this is before earnings even happened, so
Right,
we'll
right.
see.
All right. Fascinating. I'm
Okay.
going to be listening to the call later today, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll
So
talk about that in the next episode as well.